Right, nice short video today after the recent Icelandic saga epics that I've released. Today we're going to look at replacing the drums on the B18 Amazon and P1800. Now, the first thing to do is you inspect the hub. And if you see that there is damage typically on the outside here where somebody has been brutal and not used the correct tool to try and remove the hub, this can often be damaged, which means this tapered surface here becomes flattened and doesn't sit neatly. If that is the case, then you want to buy the hub and drum already assembled, which we can do. But if you've got the tools and the inclination, a far more cost-effective way is to remove the hub from the drum and replace the drum itself. So, right now, this is just come off the customer's car and my hub looks excellent. So I'm happy to go ahead and replace the drum on the hub. So what are we going to need? Well, one of the difficulties when we're pressing out the studs is that if you just try pressing straight on the stud, then what happens is the whole thing simply dips as the drum distorts. So somehow you've got to support the underside. And that is the most appropriate method I've found so far. It's not brilliant, but it works. And you simply place the stud between the supporting posts, like that. And that's how we're going to press those out. And then the final step is to press the studs back in to your nice, lovely, new brake drum. Let's go over to the press and do it. Okay, so here's my support for the underside. And as I say, I'm going to locate it such that a stud lies between each of the posts. Like that. And now press out each of the studs in turn. Okay, we've now finished with that tool. And you see at the moment, the hub is still attached to the drum. This is because from the factory, there are 3 spot welds securing the 2. So we now have to break those. So support the drum, leaving the hub free. And we're simply going to break them. There it goes. There we go. One rubbish drum. Incidentally, the reason we changed this in the first place is because it has become too large a diameter inside. In other words, the wall has become thin. Therefore, the brakes heat up very quickly and fade very early. This is my gauge. When this drops in, then I replace them. Now, this isn't quite dropping in, but it's very close. You can see it's actually sticking there. So we're right on the limit of the specification. The car in question is used for hill climb and sprints. So he wants good brakes. And hence we're going to change them slightly early. So that's why we're changing them. Okay, so we've got 3 spot welds here that we've got to take down flush to the surface of the hub, and to remove all this scale and the old paint here and the dirt here. So we're going to use a soft flapper wheel to do this fairly gently. First task is the 3 spot welds. Okay, there we go. We haven't gone too deeply into the metal here, but we have got rid of all the scaling. My 3 spot welds. Oh, that one's still a bit proud. I'm going to go back to that one. That one's good. That one's good. There we go. My 3 spot welds are flush. There's no horrible old paint creeping in from the edge, and the inner is also clean of debris, and the scale's gone. So we can now assemble. Let's go over to the bench. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble. What I have here is an old Amazon disc, and you'll see why in a second. I've just put this through the parts washer just to make sure all the grindings have been removed, particularly of course from the inner taper here. So we place the hub on the old disc and align up the stud holes. We take the drum and align up the stub holes. Then we take the studs. Now, usually these will have come out cleanly, and if they're in good condition, i.e. if the thread was good to begin with, I would suggest always trying to use the original studs. If, in fact, you have reason to change them, we can supply the new studs. That's not a problem. And locate those in by hand. Now we're going to drive them in using a nice lump hammer and a good sized drift. Now we're just going to try and tap and locate them first. Okay, that's the 5 of them located to begin with. Now you're listening for the note as you strike each one. That'll tell you when you've got it drifted home. So now we're going to take each stud in sequence and start drifting them down in turn. Now you can hear that's still quite a sharp, high-pitched note each time I hit. There, that has just gone home. That one hasn't. That one has. There, that's the last one. I'll just go around them again, just so you can hear the note. There we go, it's a deeper and more solid note when they've gone home. Now some of you will be thinking, well, why doesn't I just press them in using my nice bench press? We're never happy with that. This is the nicer method, to take it down, each of them in turn, keeps the whole thing concentric, and you can feel if something's going wrong. With the press, you're really not quite so sure that everything's going in square. So that is our preferred method, and that's why. Okay, let's now just clean the surface of the drum with our brake cleaner. Make sure its packing grease has all been cleaned off. We have, of course, fitted new brake shoes because it's a new drum. You don't want to use the old brake shoes. And we are ready to fit our nice new drum. As I say, if you've got the tools, this is a very cost-effective way, really inexpensive way of replacing your drums, and it's kind of nice to use your original hubs if they're in good condition than buying new ones. If you don't have the tools or don't have the inclination to do this job, then that's not a problem. We can supply you with brand new hub on a brand new drum. And you can use that instead. There you go. Thank you for listening. We'll try and find another topic fairly soon.